So you will be on TV. Not TV, but YouTube. So, sorry about all of that. It says mute.
One, two.
Thank you. Ekasan. Greetings, greetings, alafia. Greetings, everyone. First, I give homage to my ancestors. I pay homage to my ancestors. As I say, Omi tutu, Ona tutu, Ile tutu, Ori tutu, Tutu laroye, Tutu ariku babawa. I give thanks to my ancestors, my African ancestors, the ones whose shoulders I stand tall and proud. I am Akilah Jaramogi from Fondes Amandes Community Reforestation Project. You are in my watershed. If you step out there, you will see my sign right outside Boy Scout here, the Fondes Amandes Community Reforestation Project. Our work at Fondes Amandes addresses environmental and social issues. But before I start there, I want the attention of all my Rastafarian brothers and sisters, the ones who are responsible for this Ital Fest. I don't know if you remember the days, remembering the days when we would say, Sata Masagana La Amla Kambesa Hiuda. How many of you remember that? Where are the old Rasta men and women, the Rasta children? We would greet each other and we would say, Sata Masagana La Amla Kambesa Hiuda. That is Amharic. Give thanks to Jah, Lion of Judah. You all remember that? No, I don't think so. And remember singing the anthem, Ethiopia, the land of our fathers, the land where our gods used to be. We need to tell the children these stories that give us the strength to resist from this system, this oppressive Babylon system. Because when you look around, the same oppressor that is oppressing you is oppressing me. And one day, we all gonna sing the same song. So I say, thank you, thank you, thank you to the organizers of this event. But let me tell you a little reason why I am here. I am here because I have been doing the work that I am assigned to do, taking care of the forest. For over 40 years, at Fondes Amandes Community Reforestation Project, we have been planting trees, reforesting a degraded hillside that constantly exposed to the ills of forest fires. We have planted over 100,000 trees on that degraded hillside that was once deemed a fire climax zone. How many of you know what a fire climax zone is? A fire climax zone is an area prone to fires. So for years, fires would have started, for those who attend Bishop Jr., in the back of Bishop Jr., and run straight up the Fondes Amandes Hill, and then go over to Maraval. Sometimes the fires would come from way Santa Cruz, come up the mountain and into Fondes Amandes. You know when you're in Santa Cruz, there's a road called Hololo Road? Yes, that's the route. Sometimes the fires would come from Lady Chancellor and come down into our Fondes Amandes Valley. So this is what we have been doing over the years, fighting fires, but not just fighting fires, but educating the young and the old about the do's and don'ts during the dry season. The fire season in Trinidad starts on the 30th of December and it ends in June. So this is where we begin our education. We don't wait for the fire season in January or February. We start way back in December educating our communities in order to be ready to deal with forest fires. For the little one, we created a book called Amazonic, the Forest Defender. And if we have the little children or even the adults, you can come a little closer. I will quickly read my story about Amazonic, the Forest Defender. On a hot and sunny day, a little parrot named Amazonic rolled around in his nest playing with his siblings. His mother returned to their nest with juicy hog plum fruits for lunch. While Amazonic was eating his delicious meal, he noticed something in a distance. He saw a man heaping old leaves and branches into a pile. And then that man set that pile on fire. The little parrots grew worried about the fire that was lit, but their mother reassured them that all was well. Squawk, squawk, squawk. As the wind began blowing stronger, Amazonic realized that the fire was quickly climbing the hillside towards his home. Before he knew it, thick smoke had engulfed them, causing Amazonic to lose sight of his family. The heat intensified as the bushfire drew nearer. Amazonic frantically tried to escape, flying away as fast as he could, but he accidentally slammed into a tree. A sharp pain radiated through his wing. He screeched for his mother, but the smoke made it difficult for him to breathe. And that was the last thing our little Amazonic remembered. The curious chatter of strange creatures awoke Amazonic. He had never seen these types of animals before. He heard them discussing his whereabouts and whether his broken wing would get better. Alarmed, he got up and tried to fly, but he could not. The pain was unbearable. He scanned the room for his family, but they were nowhere in sight. The animals told him that he had been found near the bushfire. He was rescued by the heroic FACRP firefighters and brought to their wildlife rehabilitation center. So, FACRP is the Fondes Amandes Community Reforestation Project. And when we are out there fighting fires, we normally encounter animals that are injured in the fires. So what we do, we take the animals and place them in animal rehabilitation centers. In the coming days, Amazonic started feeling better. The kind people at the center took care of him, mending his wing and feeding him yummy fruits, flowers, and seeds. He became friends with the animals at the center and learned that some of them were there because they were badly burnt by bushfires, while others even lost their homes to bushfires. They told him of the brave FACRP firefighting, protection, and defending the forest team from bushfires each year That's what we do. Inspired by the story, Amazonic decided to join the team of FACRP firefighters. Several weeks later, Amazonic grew bigger and stronger. With his wing completely healed, that meant that he could fly again and was ready to return to the forest. After saying goodbye to his friends at the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center, he joined the FACRP Forest Fire Prevention and Suppression Team. Amazonic is now called Amazonic the Forest Defender. And this is a little story to let you all know that we are in the dry season. And while we are thinking about homes being threatened, we have to think about the wildlife as well. So whatever we do, please remember the do's and don'ts during the dry season. You must not light fires outdoors in the dry season without a fire permit. If you're caught lighting fires outdoors, uncontrolled burning, you can be fined. It's 6 months in prison and $20,000. So the fine for lighting fires during the fire season without a permit is 6 months in prison and $20,000. So this is a message for all of you. If you see someone lighting a fire without a permit, please report that, because that fire can get away. Right in our watershed 2 weeks ago, we had a fire up at Mount Hololo. And that fire, you can imagine how many animals lost their homes. So again, we are looking at ecological justice. Justice for those who cannot speak. Justice for those who cannot defend themselves from the acts, that criminal act of setting fires in the forest. So again, I want all of you to be forest defenders. I want all of you to take something away. Look out, see when someone is lighting a fire. Look at the gardener next door. And if he's lighting a fire, make sure you can call him and warn him that lighting a fire without a permit during the dry season is a crime. So again, this is from Fondes Amandes Community Reforestation Project in St. Anne's. Be wise, be caring, love Mother Earth, protect Mother Earth. Mother Earth needs us in as much as we need her. Because when we're in the forest, I am here by my brother's table, I use the donkey eye to make my jewelry. I use the tambourine to make my juice. I use the stinking toe to make jewelry. I use the sandbox seed to make my jewelry. And also, you have juju seed, wild Indian bead, jumbie bead. All these seeds and beads I use within my line of natural jewelry. Also, some of the fruits that we are now hardly even seeing around our natural environment because of forest fires and because of those who are just illegally cutting away our indigenous trees. How many of you remember Balata and Grugrubef and Mami Sipot and tambourine? Well, of course, tambourine are wrong. But again, the children need to know these fruits. So caring for the environment will help us all preserve our local and indigenous species of fruits and trees within our forests. So again, I want to say thanks to all who supported this event. And I have a little jingle we normally sing. Forest defenders, that's who we are. Forest defenders, that's who we are. Taking care of Mother Nature, taking care of Mother Nature. Forest defender, you will be. Forest defender, you will be when you visit FACRP. When you visit FACRP, yes, you and me. FACRP, FACRP. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.